Welcome back to the Red Wings Report with Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura, the stuttering guitarist. I wanted to review what we saw in the two prospects games and how that affects the Wings going into camp. So I've decided I'm going to take the two best forwards and the two best defensemen, and those are the guys I'll be watching battle for jobs in camp. First, and I'd said this in the write-up, Nate Danielson, best 200-foot player in that game. This is the guy we'd already talked about that I think has the edge with the Detroit Red Wings. So going in, it was going to be interesting to see how he performed, how he looks after another summer of training. So Danielson's work, face-off dot, his stick lifts, stealing the puck, carrying the puck, moving the puck, he was the total package for a centerman out there. And then he scores on day two after some really good setup work on day one. He had 2 assists in the first game. Day two, he and Brandsegg-Nygard have a back and forth. And Danielson essentially, I talked about this in the write-up and in the video, he has a shot where he sweeps his puck. So you can see a lot of players will get their flex holding their puck on the ice or using a slap shot. What Danielson is able to do is kind of moving toward a wrister. He adds pressure while he moves the stick. It bends back a little more gradually so that when he releases it, it looks like a very heavy shot. So if you're looking at the puck coming to you, it looks almost like a trick pitch where the puck looks like it's going to be dropping, just because of how that releases, how he got the flex on his stick. He uses that sweeping shot. The goalies really have trouble seeing where that puck's going to go. It's like a changeup, not quite a curveball, but it's deceptive, and it's one of the most unique shots I've ever seen, not just in this context. So Danielson can do it all for 200 feet. That's why I'd said before this, I think he's at the top of the list to potentially be a winger for Dylan Larkin to open the season. And after watching it, my mind's in the same place. Danielson, number one. The second most impactful forward, I just mentioned, in my opinion, is Lombardi. Lombardi, his 200-foot game's not there, not near to the degree of Danielson, but let's say his 130-foot game, right, going from the defensive zone out all the way down to the other net. There's no one in the system, not just on that team or in the AHL, that attacks the net like Lombardi does. You can see it. He dances around, he carries the puck, he changes direction, he uses his head to misdirect defensemen, and it's unbelievable how many players he draws to him. So he'll either get the shot by blocking the goalie's view, drive on net, get a quick shot, throw the goalie off, or pull everyone to him, and like he did in game 2, then dish the puck to someone who's waiting, who's going to score. Lombardi has a nose for the net that's, I believe, scoring-wise, just pure scoring-wise, he's in a better place than Danielson. But Danielson's advantage, again, is going to be that 200-foot game. So Danielson and Lombardi, they're the two forwards, I think. They're at the top of my list going into camp from that game that are not just auditioning for a call-up. They want to be on the roster on opening night. Honorable mentions, of course, Michael Brandsegg-Nygard. If you saw his power play goal in game 1, he carries the puck into the system, dishes to Doucette, who's driving to the net. Then Brandsegg-Nygard gets right to the spot where he knows the puck's going to come back to. And again, his signature, he takes 0 time to get that shot off. He's not handling the puck, he's not cleaning it off. Just boom, in the net. Sometimes he'll kind of go down to one knee, reminiscent of Brett Hull. But in Red Wings history, guys who did not need to clean off the puck in 97, 98 Shanahan, 2002 Brett Hull. They actually utilized a moving puck to kind of get past the goaltender. Brandsegg-Nygard is so close as well. I think he's still at 19 at this point. So kind of honorable mention there. I'd be remiss not to mention Kilfoyle's backhander goal where he just drove in and found the top shelf out of nowhere. Emmett Finney looks like a 7th round steal. He's going to be a very physical, very powerful. But my two going out of here that I think are right on the door, Danielson, Lombardi. Not really surprised there. For defense, and this is from this game, I'll say it now, Tuomisto and Wallinder are going to be battling, right? They're going to be battling for a spot. But in this game and in general, I feel like Shai Boyum has pushed past people in the depth chart in Grand Rapids for a call-up. The concern with Tuomisto is his skating. Boyum's skating is spot on. His physicality is spot on. And now we've seen his offensive chops again. He has 2 goals in the series, 1 each day. Game 1, he comes down from the point on an ozone face-off, gets the puck, snaps it from the lower dot. Beautiful goal, just absolutely picked it. And then a quick shot in the second game, very similar, he gets very close to the net. He rang the pipe in game 2. He almost had 2 goals in game 2. Boyum, to me, is a 200-foot defenseman, which Detroit desperately needs. And, of course, Addie wanted to say hello. So Boyum, to me, from this game, top candidate to be in the NHL on the blue line. And honestly, in the AHL, I feel like because he's got all of it going, the skating, the scoring, the physicality, I believe he's moved past Wallinder and Tuomisto. We'll have to see camp for that. But specifically for this game, Boyum's the top defenseman, I believe, hands down. Second, Axel Sandin-Pellikka. Now, when you get to camp, I think he's a little further back in the depth chart for a call-up. But in this game, Sandin-Pellikka, the way he walks the line with the puck, very reminiscent of Rafalski when you had Lidstrom and Rafalski with the right shot. But what he will do, and I'd seen guys who were veterans who would do this. I used to see Todd Bertuzzi and Johan Franzen do this quite a bit, where you make a quick pass, it comes right back to you, and if the goalie has adjusted, so whoever you're passing the puck to gets it back to you immediately, you take the shot because the goalie's moved slightly out of position to address what could be a different shooter. He makes plays like that, but he can also hide the puck from a defender, especially on the power play. Sandin-Pellikka was just able to keep the puck in over and over and over and skate it away, make an easy pass, get himself back open for the return. Sandin-Pellikka sees the ice like no other player, particularly on the blue line in the system. He knows where all of his teammates are. He can make those quick passes. He makes some high-risk plays where you're shooting the puck in front of the net. I don't think that works as well in the NHL. That's a very dangerous play, but obviously he's still able to function with that. But Sandin-Pellikka's shot selection, you can always see him letting defensemen get in front of the goaltender, whether it's a screen from his own team or the defenders from the other team. He's letting the goalie's vision be blocked before he looks to pick a corner, pick a top shelf, or get a rebound for someone out in front of the net. Everything about Pellikka's game, Sandin-Pellikka's game, is intentional. He doesn't shoot and hope. He doesn't pass and hope. You don't see indecisiveness in him almost at all. And at just 20, young player, I cannot believe how good his on-ice vision is. It's really superb. So as long as he can have the strength, because he's not the fastest skater, very good skater, but he's not the fastest skater, so he's not going to outrun a forward who tries to get the puck at the top of the zone. right? And we've seen it break down like that on the power play where something happens, the puck is blocked, and it goes to a forward who's able to get out of the zone. Once you get into that run and gun, that racing game, that's not Sandin-Pellikka's game, but several times when a forward tried to exit, he just immediately got the puck back, shielded it, and got it to safety. So Sandin-Pellikka, his vision on the ice and his offensive game are going to quickly put him at the top of the heap in Grand Rapids. But to me right now, Shai Boyum, he should be the very first call-up if he doesn't find a way to take a spot in camp. Sandin-Pellikka from that game, he's number 2. But when you get the rest of the guys in it, I think Tuomisto and Wallinder are going to be battling slightly ahead of ASP just because they'll probably want to get some reps and minutes out of him. I don't know, but my 4 players last time, Danielson, Lombardi, Boyum, ASP, from that game, those are the guys that I'm going to be watching at camp the most because they played in their part for the full 60 minutes and showed just moment after moment. They just didn't have many quiet times where you didn't know they were on the ice. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with that assessment? Are those 4 guys after that tournament the guys you said, okay, they are so close and they're going to be battling? Or do you have someone different? Doucette, Finney, very, very good playmakers. Finney especially, incredibly physical. There's so much talent on there. I'm just kind of reeling it back to say, okay, just like in the AHL, if you had to pick the top 2 guys defensively, offensively that you think are going to get there, those are my 4 picks. I hope you enjoyed this. Training camp is just about to start. If there are any news, any moves, I'll let you know. Thanks for tuning in.